Let's say that you have installed this awesome tool and you want to activate it. It's pretty simple. You start with the load command. You click on load command and simply AutoRebar plugin is activated. That's the first one. The second thing is one of the most important things in AutoRebar plugin, because here you can modify and configure everything possible to control and command your usage of AutoRebar. So here I'm going to show you every tab and every subcontent here and how to make it feasible for you. Let's start with the units. I'm living in Egypt, by the way, and I use metric units, and here I use millimeters and kilograms for everything. There is no room I can use meters, so I just change this to millimeters. Everything has to be in millimeters. This is the standard here, and units of mass is kilograms. Also, make sure you have the latest version of AutoRebar, because older versions are tedious and have some technical errors. So please install this 2.1. I recommend this. The second tab is called digits. I made one thing, which is I don't want any floating point in my drawing. Third one is the scale. In the older versions I used 1 to 50, but here I just use 1 to 5. This tab is not important very much, but it's up to your visual knowledge and your beauty standards if you care. So I prefer using double line for the exhibition of rebars, and for sectioned bars, this is a sectioned bar and this is sectioned bars, I prefer to use the external plus sign. You cannot play with these, they are not useful here. And let's dive in to one of the most important tabs here, dimensions. In dimensions, the first thing you check is draw local dimensions. Draw local dimensions. And this one makes you adjust your text height or text size. Let's say I'll get it 3 millimeters, and this one is called include rebar thickness. Include rebar thickness in your length. In my case, I do not include rebar thickness because it messes my calculations up and makes them wrong. This one, leave it as it is, because this is how to show a normal stirrup. This one is the first important thing, and this one is the second important thing. They are all important, marks and dimensions. Let's assume I'm using a text height of 3. You can adjust it as alongside your drawing, and are you using a plan or a section, it's up to you. But in a future video I'm going to show you how to manipulate this text height in the edit scaling command. This one is called new mark numbers. You leave it because usually you start from number 1, but sometimes you can start from number 100 or 3333. It's up to you and it's up to your project. This section is what is shown in the mark, and I'm going to show you how the mark is implemented and exhibitioned in your canvas in a later video. First one is the number of rebars, the second one is the rebar length, the third one is the width of the range. And in the samples section here, there are two commands. The first one is diameter symbol, and in my case I use T, not phi. And the second one, spacing symbol, I use at. This is the specification I'm adhering to here. This section in the window is also important because in my case I don't calculate the rebar length using the actual rebar length with bending and stuff like that. I just use the sum of the rebar dimensions, because if I check this is going to mess my calculations up and make it wrong. This section is called calls, and simply calls is something that refers to a mark but it's not calculated in your bending schedule. I leave them all checked, and I don't play with bond, I don't play with manage, and I click OK, and simply this is how I adjust and configure all my options here. Thank you, and seeing you next time.